Guys, I have a new series for you called Angry Arcanas with Merlini, simply because Mad Rares just wasn't enough, and that was a spin-off of Mad Money with Kramer. Anyways, so this will be an intro to the teams that we'll be playing at the Summit 2, December 3rd to December 7th, and give you an idea of where you should place your items. So this is the Summit 2 total prize pool, almost 300,000. Thanks to you guys who contributed to the prize pool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the ticket and the experience has been very good for you guys, and you got some very cool goodies to go along with it. So right into the format and the teams. There are 6 teams participating, returning champions. Evil Geniuses, not today, the winner of the American qualifiers, Team Secret, the winner of the EU qualifiers, Vici Gaming, winner of the Chinese qualifiers, Cloud9 and Team Tinker. Unfortunately, First Departure could not make it. They were the winner of the SEA qualifiers, and Cloud9 was the redemption vote. So this is going to be a 5-day LAN from December 3rd to December 7th. It is a round-robin best-of-1 for seeding, and then there is a single elimination playoffs. Each of the games will be a best-of-5. So this was taken from TeamLiquid.net, the Summit 2 playoffs. So 4th seed from the round robin will play 5th seed. Winner of that will play the 1st seed in the semifinals. And then on the other side of the bracket, we have 3rd seed playing 6th seed. They will move on to play the 2nd seed, and then winner of those two will go on to the grand finals. And there will be a consolation finals too, to see the rest of the rankings besides 1st place. And the winner all happy and stuff with their smiley face. So I have power rankings. This left side is the top 3. My top 3: Evil Geniuses, Team Secret, and Vici Gaming. Evil Geniuses, probably not that surprising to anyone that they are on 1st. They are defending champions, even though the last one was maybe 5-6 months ago. Their roster is PPD, the captain, Arteezy, Fear, Universe, and Zai. So recent accomplishments, this is all within the past 2 months. 1st placed, Dream League Season 2, they defeated C9 3-1. They got 1st place in Starladder Season 10 versus Secret. I believe that was a 3-2 victory. And 2nd place, ESL New York, they lost versus Vici. That was a 1-2 defeat. So odds in a best-of-1 versus Secret, around 50-50. This one is a very finicky matchup. These two teams trade games very, very often. Well, I guess very often. By that I mean Starladder Season 10, where Secret knocked them down to the lowest bracket, defeating them 2-0, and then EG came back and defeated them 3-2 in the finals. So I personally think that Secret is just a tad bit stronger than Evil Geniuses, but Evil Geniuses is far more consistent. So Evil Geniuses, they're very, very good at the few strategies that they run, and Secret are just good at the wide variety of strategies that they run. But EG's has had a winning formula for quite some time now. They are very, very dominant. Versus Vici, 60%. Maybe Vici, who knows what they've been playing recently. I have no idea what the drafts are, and there just haven't been that many Eastern tournaments nowadays. And the East versus West, none of them came to Starladder as well. So we don't have any recent information about Vici. They could be strong, they could be weak. Who knows? But judging from what you would expect from them, around 60%. Versus Cloud9, 75%, if not more. Evil Geniuses just have Cloud9's number. They just beat them out almost every single time, at least in a best-of-3 or best-of-5. In a best-of-1, maybe not so much. 70 to 75% seems about right. Versus Tinker, they had a lot of promise, but haven't really shown any good results lately. They are certainly not in my top 3 at this tournament, and odds probably a little bit better versus them than for Tinker. 75-80%, somewhere around there. Versus Not Today, probably 80% plus, the way the North American and South American scene works combined. Evil Geniuses, and then in the middle you kind of have like Not Today, Complexity, Snot, and then everyone else at the bottom. So Not Today, they are very good, and they won the American qualifiers, but they haven't really played EG and a lot of the other tier 1 teams. So I do not expect them to do very well because they haven't been playing in the international scene for a very long time, but they are the big fish in the little sea that is the Americas. Moving on to the next team, we have Team Secret, the Western All-Star team. We have Puppy and Kiro, who used to play for Navi, Puppy being the captain, S4, the mid player from Alliance, and Simba and No Tail from the now disheveled Fnatic. They are a relatively new team, so I had to pull some other achievements. First place some EU qualifiers. This is important because they beat Cloud9 and owned them 3-0 in a best of 5. One of the quickest best of 5s I've ever casted. And even in the round robin stage, they just owned Cloud9 badly. Really badly. Second place, Star Ladder Season 10 versus EG. Again, keep in mind that Team Secret actually 2-0'd EG in the winner's bracket. So that doesn't mean that EG is necessarily stronger or weaker. They won the tournament, but these two teams, I think, are very, very even. And Secret also had a very disappointing 3rd/4th place in ESL New York. They bypassed the first round, and then they lost in the second round versus Vici in a pretty whomping defeat too. That was actually pretty nasty, but again, that was around 2 months ago, and they were a little weak at that particular time. Versus Vici, Secret probably around that 60%, same odds as EG, I would suppose. Versus Cloud9, I would probably say Secret does even better versus Cloud9 than EG does. All the games I've seen Secret play Cloud9, it has just been brutal, really brutal. The 75% plus is probably more like 80% plus, but best of 1, who knows? In a best of 3, it's going to get ugly. Versus Tinker, 75% plus. Versus Not Today, around 80% too. We haven't really seen Not Today versus any of the other international teams, so these are the tilde means approximately, and you can judge by first couple of days or first couple of matches to see how Not Today actually fares. Vici Gaming, Eastern Powerhouse, second place TI. Lost to Newbie in the finals. ROTK plus Sailor out. Ice 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 plus Black in. So captain is now FY. Roster also consists of Fenrir, Black, Ice Ice Ice, and Super. They recently got 5th through 8th place at NEST. They lost versus Newbie. Keep in mind it was like a single elim 8 team, so they just lost first round versus a very strong opponent. Take that as you will. They also got 1st place in ESL New York versus EG. And this was a 2-1 defeat, but that was around 2 months ago. In between then, they were supposed to, I believe they were supposed to attend Star Ladder, but they backed out close to the last moment, citing travel concerns. So we don't really know what has been going on with Vici Gaming. So I would take all these particular odds with a grain of salt, because they could be straight ownage right now. They could be, you know, a little bit rusty. Who knows? Versus Cloud9, I would actually put Vici the favorites here, 60% versus Tinker, 65% plus, since Tinker's a little bit weaker than Cloud9. And versus Not Today, I'd be surprised if Not Today won more than 1 out of 4 games versus Vici. So moving onwards to the other side, power rankings. Number 4, Cloud9. Number 5, Team Tinker with Loda standing in, and team number 6, last place, Not Today. So Cloud9, nicknamed Cloud2. Eternal Envy, the captain. Fada, Bone 7, Aoi 2000, Pylai Die rounding out that lineup. They're a very strong and capable team, but just haven't had that oomph to push to first place. Even though people call them Cloud2, they actually haven't had that many second place finishes recently. Second place in Dream League Season 2 versus EG, they lost 3-1. This was very, very recent. Third place Star Ladder Season 10, they lost versus EG. And 3rd/4th place in ESL New York, again, defeated by EG. EG just continually beats them down over and over and over and over again. The odds versus Tinker, the 2 remaining teams, because I've done odds for everyone else versus Tinker, I would say they're slightly stronger than Tinker. Tinker did beat them out in a BO1 at the Star Ladder Land Finals, and these 2 teams seem fairly evenly matched. I think Tinker is a little bit unpredictable sometimes in what they run. 55% Cloud9 favorites versus Not Today, around 70%. Power ranking team number 5, we have Team Tinker. They replaced First Departure. Loda is in for Koikva. So not their full roster. Bulba is their captain, rounded out by Pycat, Sing Sing, EGM, and Loda. Bromance reunited. Their recent performances, nothing better than 5th place, unfortunately. 5th place Dream League Season 2, lost versus VP. 5th/6th place Star Ladder Season 10, they lost versus Alliance. And 5th place the Summit 2 EU qualifiers. So not looking so hot there. Not terribly high hopes. People I think generally underestimate the ability of stand-ins, such as, let's say, Excalibur for Fnatic at the previous summit. They managed to take down DK, and probably many people lost their items because of that. I think what may be lost by team synergy and cohesion from the stand-in. LoDa brings in a lot of experience, and also I think team mentality is actually a little bit better when they don't have a stand-in, or when they do have a stand-in rather, because there's like no pressure. It's like, oh, okay, if we lost, then we can just attribute it to us having stand-in, which may not necessarily be the case, but that may be the mentality going in, and they're going in with this nothing to lose attitude, and they draft a little bit, you know, more unconventional, have a little bit more fun, which generally leads people to play better. So definitely don't count them out because they have a stand-in, and LoDa is a very formidable stand-in, standing in for Koikva. So versus Not Today, Team Tinker favorite 60%. I'd probably actually bump it up to like 65-ish, but we haven't seen Not Today too much. Speaking of them, Not Today, we have seen them a lot in the past couple of years in the North American scene, previously known as Revenge Esports, Denial Esports, and Arctic Gaming, all with the same roster. So Mystico, Iwo, Smash, Mihawk, and Masoku. Fogged will actually be standing in for them. So that's kind of cool. Fogged of the North American Navi roster. They had first place in El Patronath American Cup, first place in the Summit American qualifiers, defeating Complexity in a very convincing fashion, and a little bit before that, 6th place TI4 American qualifiers. I actually had them in my top 4, but I think they've underperformed a little bit as Revenge in that particular tournament. So that's it for the power rankings. Give you my odds for what I think the BO1s are going to be, and keep in mind the teams I'm looking for are kind of Vici and Not Today. Vici more so than Not Today, because I think Vici has a lot more upside than Not Today, but both of these teams we don't really know what to expect from them. These other 4 we've kind of seen a lot in recent tournaments. So anyways, thank you guys, and make sure that if you have the oh man, I lost connection to Steam. But if you have your compendium, make sure you vote in your all-star match, as well as the tag team one-on-one, and your casters that you would like for the last day. Selections closed in 1, 2, and 3 days respectively. And at the end of the compendium, there is the feedback thread, so we can host better tournaments for you guys. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like my YouTube channel, you can subscribe to my channel at youtube.com/MerliniDota. I also stream fairly often at twitch.tv/MerliniDota. Thank you guys once again.